The province of British Columbia has made some big announcements in the last week. The big one is around strata properties. This is a move on behalf of the government to increase the inventory of rental options for residents of British Columbia. And this is actually one of those changes that's been announced that I actually think is going to impact the market. Currently, there are hundreds of condos and apartment buildings in British Columbia that have significant restrictions, not allowing rentals or having rentals restricted to a certain number of units. When we've been working with buyers in the past, when we come across rental restriction, those come with big cautions on our part. Those cautions being that if and when you decide to sell your rental restricted property, it's going to be substantially more difficult to sell than if they didn't have those restrictions. So a lot of our buyers would talk themselves out of buying, particularly with rental restrictions, because as much as not all of us are would-be investors, things happen and sometimes we're relocating for work. If we're relocating at a time where the market isn't that great to sell, you're now stuck in this situation where you've got a condo you own, you're paying strata fees on it, you're paying maintenance costs on it, but you can't rent it. And so for most of my clients, that was just not a risk worth taking, and we'd focus on properties that did not have rental restrictions. So for anyone that was sort of being challenged by a lack of supply because they didn't want to buy into a rental restriction, this move is going to increase availability of those units. They're also likely to have a big increase in supply. So we know that a lot of the buildings that have rental restrictions would otherwise have substantially more rental opportunities if those restrictions were lifted. So I see this as a positive for a number of reasons. Number one, we need more rentals. Number two, rental restricted properties are hard to sell and worth less money. Province of British Columbia, you've made a lot of changes to real estate, or attempted to make a lot of changes to real estate over the last few years. This one gets my stamp of approval. I think this is a good legislation to the market. I think it will positively impact the rental market and positively impact the condo trading market as well.